everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Steffi from Little Steffi Big World. This channel is all about travel scrapbooking and travel scrapbook albums. And this is my very first scrapbook that I did for that week that I spent in Bali. Within the year that I've been away. I've been for over 10 months to Australia, and then I went to Bali, but I also went to Malaysia and Singapore. And this is the very first scrapbook that I did, so I started with this very small one here, and I wasn't too much into decorating the cover in a very nice way. I went in October 2014 and was just for a week, and you will see as I move along. At the beginning I don't have that many supplies. While I was making this album, I actually acquired and bought more and more scrapbooking supplies. So while we move on within the scrapbook, there's gonna be way more things in the scrapbooking part of this trip. So this picture is from a statue that I took a picture of in a temple on a day trip that I did during that week that I spent in Bali. Even though I wanted this to be a relaxing week, it wasn't in the end, and I blame the time that I spent in Australia doing loads of hikes and making lots of day trips here and there and exploring and doing the sightseeing stuff to an extension. And then I went to Bali, and somehow I thought, well, while I'm there I could do this day trip, and oh yeah, I might as well do this hike and whatever. I did so many things, and it wasn't too relaxing in the end. I did the inner cover later, so when I already had quite a lot of supplies, and I just decorated it, and it just says that I went on my own. So I flew over there on my own and flew back, but I actually made some friends, which I'm still in contact with some of them. So I used just very basic things. Like I just had a couple of washi tapes at the time, with a little bit of pattern paper, and basically this is paper for your printer, but in different colors, so not just white, you have colored printer paper. And I printed this map of Bali off the internet and just put the places I've been. So I stayed in Ubud most of the time, but I did a day trip up north, visiting different sites and places on the way, and then another hike to the top of Mount Batur, or seeing the sunrise on Mount Batur. So this is just the entry page here. I stayed on the west coast of Australia in Perth. I was actually an au pair there, and then I flew from Perth to Bali, and then from there also back again. And it was a very smooth flight, and I stayed in a little homestay in the very center of Ubud, and they actually picked me up and drove me to their homestay. And it was completely different to Australia, you know, all the smells, the people, the buildings, the food, everything was completely different to Australia. And yeah, it was kind of refreshing, really, having this different experience while being in Australia for so long, and then coming to this South Asian country, and it was just fantastic. So I arrived pretty late. I think I just had a stroll around the homestay, and then in the morning breakfast was included. I had banana pancakes and tea and some fruits. It was just perfect, the perfect way to start off a new adventure. Yeah, this is on the little terrace in front of my room, and overlooking the garden and the little temple they actually had in the homestay. It was really nice. I really enjoyed staying there, and I just wanted to have a little walk around, and I passed this temple on the way, and I was actually looking for the rice fields. Yeah, I wanted to see the rice fields, the famous lush green rice fields of Bali. And I couldn't find them. I went around for 2 hours, and I could see them somewhere in behind the buildings somewhere, but I couldn't find the way. So I just gave up after a few hours and came back to the center of Ubud. So there's this little open construction. There's just the roof and a floor, and then there's lots of area around it, and where people are sitting and waiting for something. And I thought, oh my god, it's so hot, it's so humid, just let's just sit down and relax. And then these kids started a training session. So this is the trainer, and he's telling them where to go and how to act and what they should do. It's really nice to look at it. And I was just sitting there sweating, and they were dancing and moving around like crazy. I mean, they are used to it, of course, but I was still thinking, this is amazing, having to train for an upcoming performance, so in the middle of the day and moving so much. And they were really, really into it. I really, really enjoyed watching them doing their training. Very close by was the Ubud Palace, and to visit the courtyard, not the palace itself, is actually free. So I just went in and had a look around and actually stayed for a while. And yeah, I just took a selfie here. This is one of the little constructions within the courtyard of the palace. So the palace is a little bit further down there. And what I noticed while I stayed there, and this is what I wrote here, Photography Madness, is I stayed for just half an hour, and so many people came in, took a picture, like thousands and thousands of pictures, and with their smartphones and their selfie sticks, and they just rushed out again. And I'm one of them, you know. I'm just going to a place, taking pictures with the sites that I should be taking pictures of to prove that I've actually been there, and then I rush to the next place. So I was kind of had a bad feeling about it, but I thought, okay, this time I'm gonna do it a little bit more different. But in the end, I'm one of these people, basically. Yeah, I had a beer in the homestead, so bintang. I really like to try every kind of beer, and actually I think I posted this on my Facebook site that I tasted so many different Australian beers, and this one beer here is way better than the Australian beers. But yeah. There was a procession in the evening while I was looking for a place to have dinner, so I just watched them go along the street to one of the many temples where a ceremony was taking place. They basically have ceremonies almost every single day, sometimes several ceremonies throughout the day. You really have to watch out the traffic, so you have to know the streets, so when there is a procession going on somewhere that you can you know, circle around it. So well, I went for dinner, and there's a specialty in Bali which is called suckling peck, and I found a place which wasn't too full and was really nice. It really tasted so good, and it wasn't too expensive as well. It was a restaurant a little bit off the main road, and it had a little nice garden outside, so within you had to go through the restaurant to the back, and there was a little garden where I could sit. So yeah, the day was very exhausting for me, and I wanted to stay in the city centers to see the attractions. And one of the attractions is the sacred monkey forest. So this is one of the monkeys. I wasn't even inside, inside the attraction, and there were already monkeys everywhere. This one was sleeping, but yeah, you were already greeted by monkeys, and they are very hungry. They are probably used to tourists giving them food and water, or even you're not even giving it to them, they're actually taking it from you. If you're just opening your water bottle and you're not careful enough, they will grab it from you. Or if you have a banana or something in your hands that you actually bought from a stand to give it to the monkeys, they are already at you. So you have to be really careful with them. And so yeah, I was pretty scared to sit so close to them. I didn't have any food with me. I had a water bottle in my little bag. I gave my camera to another stranger. I was like, oh yeah, you sit there, and then I take a picture with you and the monkeys. Oh my god, it was really I was a bit scared, yeah. So I have another picture here of a tired monkey, and I just wrote sleepy monkeys are the best, because yeah, they're just so peaceful when they sleep. So yeah, now I'm getting into using pen and paper as a background, and having die cards, because I've purchased more supplies, especially off eBay, of people who have given up on their scrapbooking or crafting hobby and just want to get rid of anything, you know, and you just buy a big pack and there's loads of stuff in there. So I'm just using all these different things like the buttons and the die cards and different stickers and papers, and so yeah. I'm just writing here that the Sacred Monkey Forest doesn't only have monkeys as an attraction. There are also 3 temples, there's a holy water spring, and loads of other wildlife which I wanted to document. So this is one part of a temple, I think the Dragon Temple or something. So I just used some, what is this, like fabric here, and some stickers, and this button with the bow. And I'm really proud of this picture here of the butterfly. So I took these die cuts of the leaves and some gemstones, just everything in green, because it was very green. I mean, in Bali in general it's very lush. So after I went to the spa, I actually went to actually went to the spa after I've been to the Sacred Monkey Forest, and I got my nails colored in blue. So I took anything that I had in blue and just surrounded that picture with that, and put the word spa in blue as well. Took 4 hours. I got a massage as well on the back and for the feet, and the manicure and the nail nail polish. And then in the evening I went to a Bali dance in the courtyard of the Ubud Palace. So I arrived very early, but I still couldn't sit in the front row right in front of the dancers, so I sat in the first row on the side, and there was a student group next to me, but they were really friendly. So this is the stage. So this is in the courtyard of the temple, and I wanted to sit here, like right in front, you know, of the dancers, but I was sitting on the side, which wasn't too bad really. I was still sitting in the front row. And the dance had 3 parts to it. So this is the first dance act, and I don't remember exactly the story, but they told the story in English as well, what was going to be shown. I'm not sure. I think it was about a princess, and I'm not exactly sure, but something happened to her in the second act. She wasn't behaving, I think, the way she should have behaved, and that's why a demon in the third act came and punished her in some way. I'm not exactly sure if it really had a happy end in it. Well, I should have written it down. This is where your scrapbook really comes in, when you have the stories down. Just put in the pictures, but I don't remember what that was about. I actually went for a week to Bali to relax. I've been to Australia for 10 months already, I think, at that time, and worked a lot of hours to get the money to travel further. But yeah, I decided to go on an organized trip. So they picked me up, and it was a group of 5 people. There were 2 other Germans, Claudia and Nadia, and I sat with them and I spoke to them, and we got friends very quickly. And the day trip included several stops to temple and waterfalls and tea plantations and stuff. It was really fun. So the first one is this Holy Royal Family Temple, which in my opinion wasn't that great. I think it was just this row here and then a little bit of things around there, but not a good explanation of what was going on or how you should behave. What I liked a lot better was the tea and coffee plantation, where we could try different tea and coffees and other things they produced. And we had a couple from Australia, and then the 3 Germans, and I forgot about her, I think. Yes, I wrote the name, yes, but I don't know where she's from. It was a very nice group, and I met with with the Aussie couple later on as well, and I met several times with the 2 German girls. So I really liked that part here. And then we went to another temple which is close to a lake, and actually these temples are in the lake, but the lake didn't have too much water, so you could actually walk in between the temples. And it was very cloudy, so I just cut this out as to symbolize the clouds, because normally you can see the mountains back there, and it should be very, very picturesque on a sunny day. And there was a procession as well, some kind of ritual, and so I just took this picture, and because of the yellow umbrellas I kept this in yellow back here as well. So we went souvenir shopping, and then after that we went to the Git Falls. So these are the Git Falls. I didn't know that we were actually allowed to go into the water, so I just took off my sandals and stood in the water, but I didn't have any swimwear with me, so that would have been nice to swim a little bit more in here. And then we also went further north, I think, to a beach, and it should have been a black beach, but actually it was just dirty. It was just brown and dirty, and we had lunch there, but lunch was not included in the day package, in the day trip, in the price. So the 2 Germans and I, we had brought something with us to eat and drink there, while the other 3 actually paid for lunch at the restaurant where we stopped. So I just put some brown fabric paper here to symbolize the brown sand, and yeah, it really wasn't that nice. I don't know. We all agreed, well, the Germans agreed that it wasn't so nice. The next stop was really great. We went to the hot spring, and there we had our swimwear with us, because when we went to the Git Falls we had to, you know, get out of the car and walk down some mountain, and I didn't have the swimwear with me, but here we were allowed to change and then get into the hot spring. So it's me over here, the 2 Germans, and the Australian woman. And it wasn't too hot, and actually the water was a little bit slimy, so we didn't stay, luckily we didn't stay too long, but it was still nice to have a little swim. I think I would have preferred the swim at the Git Falls, but we couldn't change there, and we didn't bring out a swimwear. It wasn't underneath my clothes or something. So after the bath we went to a little viewing point just to see the rice terraces over there and all the palms. It was a really, really great view, really, really nice. I really enjoyed that. And then we went up the mountain, and our driver was just crazy. We all nearly got sick because he was taking the turns at a speed, and he was so close to the edge and to other cars and overtaking all the time. Oh my god, we were so happy when we finally got out of the car at the very top of that mountain, and we had a great view. In my opinion, it was worth it in the end, but yeah, we were just holding on to anything in that car and trying to not get sick. And I'm so happy we had a really, really great time. So we went back to Ubud at 7 p.m. and then in the evening I stayed with the 2 German girls. We found out that we only stayed like a couple of houses away from each other, like basically in the same street. So we had takeaway dinner together and just talked and laughed. We had a great time. I think they had something else to do or something planned for the next day, so I went on a solo trip around the rice fields. I finally found them, and I wanted to go on a circle. Yeah, there was supposed to be a circle track that you can follow. So I just got a selfie here with me and the rice fields in the background, and I'm very glad I was able to take this picture. Was it? I'm not sure what it is, but I really, really liked it, so I wanted to put it in the scrapbook, put some green and some blue. And then there was a woman who said like, oh, you like to take pictures, you take nice pictures, and then she showed me these little flowers next to her house. She was like, take a picture, and she was insisting on it, so I took the picture. And then she was like, come into my house and I'll show you something. And I was like, no, oh, and I was off. I was just almost running away. I didn't know what she was planning, if she just wanted to send me some art or if she was really friendly, I don't know. But this picture reminds me that, yeah, she was really friendly, and then suddenly trying to get me into her house. So yeah, this reminds me of that. So I was wandering around, I saw some really nice fields, but I didn't find the round trip. I nearly got lost in the rice field, and I just went back the way I got in. So it took me 4 hours for this trip, and I was knackered. So in the evening, I had made plans with the 2 girls again. We wanted to go to a temple where a ceremony was supposed to take part, and you have to cover your shoulders, and you have to wear this scarf. What's the name? I didn't put it here, I think. But I bought one, and the girls bought themselves something as well, but they didn't have their shoulders covered. They didn't bring anything with them, and I didn't have anything that I could give them to cover their shoulders. So they had to stay outside. So I just went in, and it was very full, and I just stayed in the back and watched the procession come in, and they were going in circles, and I didn't understand anything. So I just took some pictures, and then I didn't want the girls to wait for too long. And then we went for sushi. Yeah, that's something you do when you're in Bali. I don't know, they've heard about this place, and we were the only guests there, and there was someone playing on the piano, and the sushi was really nice. It really was, but it was also expensive for what you normally pay in Bali for food. But yeah, it was really nice. But I had to get to bed early, because I got picked up at 2:30 in the night, not in the morning, in the night. Yeah, because I wanted to go up a mountain. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea on a trip that was supposed to be relaxing. But when I was signing up for this day trip that I took with the 2 girls just 2 days before, I also saw about this Mount Batur morning climb, and I thought, oh yeah, that's not too bad. You can do that. It doesn't cost too much. You have the time. Let's go up there. And I've seen pictures of the sunrise from up there. So, and it was totally worth it. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, normally you see the lake here, but I think with the fog, with the cloud, it looks even more amazing. I was with a group of 4 other girls, or 3 other girls, I think, and they were really slow. They were not the fittest, so we just about made it for sunrise. And I will never forget this sight. It was just amazing. It was so worth it. I mean, I was pretty fit, so I didn't feel exhausted when I got up there, because of all the climbs that I did in Australia in the past 10 months prior to this trip. So I was in good shape, but yeah, you should be fit to get up there. And this is the group. Yeah, this is our tour guide, and I was up with 3 other girls. She was pretty fit as well. She was training to go on a marathon, but these 2, they needed their rest. I mean, it wasn't the easiest walk up there. It really wasn't. But I'm glad. I'm still in contact with this girl here, so I'm pretty happy. Afterwards, we went for lunch together at a restaurant which had a view of the mountain. So we went up this mountain, and we're looking over to this mountain, and this is the lake that was covered under the fog. So the lunch was pretty nice as well. It was a buffet kind of style, so I could eat as much as I wanted to. And then yeah, it was about the last day. I just stayed a little bit more in Bali before I went with the Australian couple, which I met at the day trip, to the airport, and then I flew back to Perth on the west coast of Australia. So this is just a little bit of decoration here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this flip through. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see any more flip throughs. Have a look. There are links in the description below of more and more and more travel scrapbook albums that I do. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and you all stay safe and scrapbook on. Take care and bye bye.